Welcome to Psych Insight Lab, where we uncover the deepest mysteries of human behavior and the hidden psychology behind relationships. Have you ever wondered what exactly happens inside their mind when you finally stop chasing and choose silence over pursuit? When you withdraw your energy, it triggers a complex psychological chain reaction that dismantles their defense mechanisms layer by layer. This process is not immediate, but unfolds over 7 distinct stages, leading to a profound internal collapse of their ego. Let us journey through these 7 stages to understand the chaos that ensues when you finally decide to walk away. Stage 1 is called the victory lap. Initially, your silence feels like a massive weight has been lifted off their shoulders. They feel an overwhelming sense of relief because the pressure to perform or reciprocate intimacy has suddenly vanished completely. Your absence convinces them that they made the right choice to be alone, validating their need for extreme independence. They believe they have regained control over their life and time, celebrating the solitude as a personal victory for themselves. In this early phase, they do not miss you because they are too busy enjoying the space you left behind. They view your silence not as a loss, but as a welcome break from the emotional labor of the relationship. However, this feeling of relief is temporary and superficial, serving only as a defense mechanism to mask deeper issues. They are currently living in a bubble of false security, unaware that the dynamic has shifted permanently against their favor. As days turn into weeks, the novelty of their newfound freedom begins to wear off, and reality starts to set in. The silence that once felt like freedom now starts to feel heavy, ushering them into the second stage of processing. Stage 2 is the quiet expectation. Their brain, addicted to your validation, starts to notice that something is unusually wrong. They are confused because the old script isn't playing out. They expected you to reach out, but you remain silent. Curiosity begins to creep in. They wonder why you haven't checked in or tried to fix things like before. They start checking your social media, looking for signs that you are suffering or missing them, but find nothing. The lack of attention from you creates a void they didn't expect, and their confidence begins to shake just slightly. They tell themselves you are just playing a game and will break soon, maintaining a facade of arrogance and indifference. They might almost reach out, but their pride stops them, convinced that you will be the one to break first. But as the silence stretches longer than ever before, the quiet expectation turns into a gnawing sense of unease. The waiting game they thought they were winning is now turning against them, leading them directly into the third stage. This transition marks the end of their confidence and the beginning of a painful realization about their place in your life. Stage 3 is the ego bruise. When the silence persists, their ego takes a massive hit as they question their importance. They start to wonder if they really mattered to you, or if they were just easily replaceable in your eyes. The narrative that they are the prize to be won collapses because you are no longer fighting for their attention. They realize that the validation they received came from your effort, not just their inherent existence, causing deep internal insecurity. This is a painful blow to their narcissism. They feel ignored and insignificant, feelings they have spent a lifetime avoiding. They might feel angry at you for moving on, interpreting your self-preservation as a direct attack on their self-worth. Without your constant pursuit, they lose their sense of direction and validation, leaving them feeling exposed and emotionally naked. They are forced to confront the reality that they are not the center of the universe, a truly terrifying thought. The mask of indifference falls off, and for the first time, they feel the sting of being truly left alone. As the pain of the ego bruise settles, their mind seeks comfort by retreating into the past, entering the fourth stage. Stage 4 is the phantom memory. The negative emotions fade, replaced by an idealized and romanticized version of the past. This is called fading affect bias. They forget the arguments and stress, remembering only how good you made them feel. You become a perfect ghost in their mind. They miss the comfort, the safety, and the love you provided unconditionally. They start to revisit places you went together, haunted by the memory of a connection they didn't appreciate at the time. Regret begins to seep in. They realize that the connection they threw away was rare and more valuable than they thought. However, this is still selfish. They miss how you made them feel about themselves, not necessarily you as a person. They are chasing a feeling that is gone, trying to grasp a phantom memory that they themselves chose to destroy. To escape this haunting nostalgia, they often try to find a replacement, pushing them directly into the fifth stage. They attempt to move forward by seeking new connections, hoping to prove that you were nothing special or unique. But this search for a replacement only leads to further disappointment as they enter the phase of comparison and emptiness. Stage 5 is the comparison trap. They try to date others, but find the new connections shallow, boring, and empty. Every new person is subconsciously compared to you. They lack the depth, the understanding, and the history that you shared. They realize that building a deep connection takes work they are not willing to do with someone new. The excitement of the new fades quickly, leaving them feeling lonelier than when they were actually alone in their room. They begin to understand that you offered a rare level of intimacy and acceptance that is not easily found elsewhere. The void you left behind cannot be filled by casual encounters or superficial conversations, and this realization hits them hard. They feel surrounded by people, yet completely alone, realizing the problem wasn't you, but their inability to connect deeply. This failure to find a replacement forces them to look inward, stripping away the last of their defenses. The external distractions have failed. Now they must face the internal storm they have been running from all along. The shattering of their illusions brings them to the most painful but necessary stage of their entire psychological journey. Stage 6 is the internal reckoning. The protective lies they told themselves collapse. They can no longer blame you. They have to admit that the issue lies within their own fear of intimacy, not in your behavior or demands. They replay moments where they pushed you away and realize they sabotaged a good thing out of pure cowardice. The cold exterior melts away, leaving them feeling raw, guilty, and ashamed of how they treated you during the relationship. They want to reach out, but the shame is paralyzing. They fear you have finally seen through them and moved on. This is the moment of truth, where they must decide whether to grow up or retreat back into their shell. The internal reckoning is painful because it requires taking responsibility, something an avoidant person struggles with immensely. They are now at a crossroads. The denial is gone, and only the stark reality of their choices remains. Many will choose to suppress this feeling again, but the seed of doubt has been planted deeply in their mind. This leads us to the final, most decisive stage, where the reality of the situation becomes permanent and irreversible. Stage 7 is the point of no return. They see you happy, glowing, and thriving completely without them in your life. The realization hits that your happiness was never dependent on them, and you have successfully healed from their toxic behavior. They are faced with a binary choice: do the hard work to change and return, or retreat into silent regret. Most avoidants will choose to retreat, carrying the weight of what could have been as a quiet, lifelong burden. They realize too late that by trying to protect themselves from pain, they also protected themselves from true love. The door is now closed. Your absence has taught them a lesson they were never willing to learn through your presence. You have won, not by playing their game, but by removing yourself from the board entirely and choosing yourself. Remember, the silence you provide is not a punishment, but a clear mirror reflecting their own internal state back at them. Thank you for watching Psych Insight Lab. Please subscribe for more deep dives into the complex psychology of human connection. If you found value in this video, Share it with someone who needs to understand the power of walking away.